So often on your trails in Red Dead Online, you'll stumble across some interesting tips and tricks that can make life a lot easier, or make making money a lot easier. In this video, I'm going to go through 7 tips and tricks that you may not know in the Naturalist role for Red Dead Online. So some of these tips and tricks I would have just stumbled across myself while playing, while others I would have probably read over on Reddit, usually r/Red Dead Online. Now I will do my best to credit the people that I probably learnt these from, but it has been a long time. But I will stick a little credit source up at the top left where I can. Also, if you have any Naturalist role tips yourself, which you haven't seen in this video, why not let us all know what they are below in the comment section. I'm sure everyone will really appreciate that. Now the first tip that I have for you now was a bit of a game changer when I came across it on Reddit a long while back, but it is that legendary animals that can be still donated to that useless sack of shit even after you've sampled it. Now unfortunately this isn't something that will work with all legendary animals, but it will work on free roam medium sized animals. The trick here is simple. If you come across a medium sized legendary animal on your trails, you can knock it out with sedative ammo, sample it, then kill it, and then throw that carcass onto your hunting wagon. Sedating animals as a first instinct is also a good habit to be into if you're trying to complete the animal field guide, because it gives you a little breathing room to check what you need to do with that animal. Do you need to photograph it, track it, etc. If you need something else, you can always wake it up and have another go at it. But of course the best thing about this is that you can also get paid for the samples as well as the pelt, either at the trader or the butchers. The next trick is how not to make Harriet mad. So Harriet can be a temperamental breed at the best of times, often spraying you when you least want it, which prevents you from interacting with her. It can take around 5 minutes for it to cool down, but thankfully there are some ways you can stay around good bucks while you still kill some animals for your trader or hunting needs. If you use a knife to slaughter animals, Harriet seems to give you a pass. This isn't an option for all animals sadly, but it is for some such as deer, elk, pronghorn and farm animals. Parking a camp outside Emerald Ranch and slaughtering their livestock at night was always an easy way to fill up materials in the trader role. But this will also work with 3-star bucks you see running around in free roam. If you can lasso it and slice it, you'll most likely get a pass from Harriet. Harriet also doesn't get too mad if you kill animals in sighting missions. She seems to be fully aware of what you're doing each time you do it, even if you come back wearing the dead animal on your head, but doesn't seem to mind at all, and keeps telling you where to find them regardless. Which runs into my next tip, which is you can use Harriet missions to refill your trading materials easy and fast. So I know a lot of people know this already, but I thought it was definitely worth mentioning for those of you who don't. But if you have both trader and the naturalist role, you can easily fill your materials up really fast by just popping over to Harriet and starting a sighting mission. You can kill all the animals at the end of this, and then you can just throw these animals into your hunting wagon when you arrive back in free roam. Now, for some reason, the legendary carcasses and pelts that you get from Harriet's missions are worth a lot more than the legendary pelts and carcasses that you get as free roam random events. For example, the Awiza bear will get you 27.5 materials at crypts, and Ridgeback Spirit Bear will get you 31.25 materials for crypts. But the Golden Spirit Bear, which is a Harriet mission, will get you 62.50. I think it's worth mentioning how legendary animal spawn works here. But after you skin and sample a legendary animal, you'll have a 72-hour real-life cooldown for that species. So using the bears as an example again, if you were to do the Golden Spirit Bear sighting mission for Harriet and get either a sample or a pelt, the other 2 bears, the Awiza and the Ridgeback Bear, will take 72 hours before they will spawn again for you. And just to be clear, these are 72 real-life hours and not in-game hours. You can as well bypass these cooldowns if you have a friend that will ride around with you and they can spawn legendary animals for you, as long as they just don't kill or sample them themselves. You can't be in the same posse while you're doing this though, as if you're in the same posse you share the legendary animal cooldowns. When it comes to carcasses and pelts, you actually get the most for predator animals, which leads me to the next tip. How to easily kill or sedate predator animals. There's nothing worse than getting bucked off your horse when a legendary cougar roars. The most common thing to do in this scenario is try to find higher ground like a rock and then sedate or kill the animal from a distance. If you have a wagon handy like that of your hunting wagon, you can use this also to create a barrier from them attacking you. But the easiest way here is if you have the slow and steady ability card. While that ability card is activated, your horse will not buck you. As long as you have enough deadeye, you can just sit there on your horse and casually unload on the predator animal. The horse will not buck you or run away under any circumstances, and the predator will just walk right up to you and the paralysed horse and give you plenty of time to unload. Of course, if Rockstar do ever patch this, you always have to find higher ground such as a rock or use your hunting wagon as a backup plan. This leads me up into my next tip, which is to set up your cards for legendary animals. So the main ability card setup that I like to use when hunting for legendaries are either slow and steady or painted black as the main card. I suggest slow and steady if you're going after predators for the reasons I laid out in the earlier tip, but I use painted black for everything else. And although painted black won't let you paint a red X on the animals, what it does do is it does remove bloom once activated. This allows you to shoot a lot faster as you don't have to wait for that bloom to dissipate while you're aiming, and it also makes your accuracy a lot better. The remainder cards that I use are Winning Streak, as these animals take a lot of shots to take down, and Winning Streak gets stronger the more shots you take. I think this is actually capped at 3 shots. I also use the Horseman for hunting legendary animals, because usually when I'm hunting legendaries or just regular hunting, I'm usually on horseback. For this reason, I also use Peak Condition, as it gives me a boost based on my stamina, which is usually 100% because I'm on horse and I'm mainly just riding around using the horse stamina. I think this is just a good ability card set up for just general hunting as well, and I mainly am just riding around with painted black on while doing that, and if I come across a legendary predator animal, I'll just quickly switch to slow and steady in the ability cards. That said, I'd really like to hear what your card choices are while hunting, either regular hunting or legendary animal hunting, so please let me know in the comments below what card setup you use. The next tip I have is in using the wilderness camp. The wilderness camp is actually a really useful thing to have, as it allows you to cook from anywhere on the map. This allows you to create some very quick and easy gold if you spot a daily challenge that requires crafting, and they even have a daily challenge which is to craft 7 items at the wilderness camp itself, which if you have the split point ammo pamphlet, this can be done very quickly. If you were lucky enough to have purchased and leveled up the Outlaw Pass 4 to level 97 I think it was, you will also get the fast travel from the wilderness perk, which will allow you to travel to all major areas from your wilderness camp. It also allows you to travel to your camp for just $1 from anywhere. So if you are on the other side of the map where you want to be, you can just move your camp for a couple of dollars to the general area where you want to go, and then set up a wilderness camp and travel there for $1. This is something that would definitely add up after a while, and will even make the wilderness camp pay itself back after not too long. Also, while you are in the wilderness camp, while you have the fast travel selection up, you'll actually become invincible at the camp, which might be good if you want to quickly go AFK while you do something around your house. Now, I think the fast travel from the wilderness camp is an awesome thing to have, but I'm not sure I agree with Rockstar locking that behind a limited time Outlaw Pass. It should have been a feature of the wilderness camp from the get-go, or at the very least be included as an optional purchase for the Naturalist role. A little bonus tip here while using fast travel: you don't want to use fast travel while you have a sampled carcass on your horse, as there is a bug that will skin the animal. It might even look like it's skinned, but if you try to donate for materials or sell it at the butcher, it'll be classified as a skinned animal. The last tip that I have for you is that you can actually use the ability card Never Without One with one of the garment sets for the Naturalist role. While I was trying to find the original post where I learned this from, I actually stumbled across that it was actually discovered by a YouTuber by the name of OnlyPvPCat, so credit goes to him for this tip. So if you want a garment set that works with Never Without One, what you first need to do is track yourself down one of the legendary beavers. There's 3 of these in the game, you'll find 2 of them in free roam, and you'll find 1 of them in Harriet sighting missions. Once you got the pelt, you can just hand it into Gus and he'll knock one off for you for a price. The really nice thing about this is once you take a shot to the head, you can actually re-equip the beaver hat over and over again by using the quick menu screen. This obviously gives you a huge advantage in PvP exchanges because you've got an unlimited amount of bulletproof hats. Of course, if you take a direct shot to the face, even that beaver hat will not protect you. Considering this is the only garment set that this actually works on, I'm pretty sure this is just an oversight on Rockstar's part, and they may very well patch it in the future, but until then, feel free to rock the bulletproof beaver hat. That is it for my 6 tips and tricks for the Naturalist role. If you learned something or found this content useful, why not leave a like below? If you know someone who is an aspiring naturalist who just got the role, sending it on this video might also help them out, as well as helping me out, as all this really does help me with the algorithm. If you're new to the channel and you like this kind of content, why not consider subscribing? It's free, and if you stick the bell notification to all, it'll make sure you're notified as soon as I post a video. Thanks again to all the subscribers that I have, as well as the members for this channel. Your support means everything to me. Catch you all in the next one.